Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the exciting new game show called What Type of an Investor Are You? Today's contestant is you. Are you one of the many investors all around the world who think you're one type but end up trading a totally different way? Are you investing without a clear idea of the type of investor you are? Are you trying this, that, and the other thing without any clear goal of what you want and where you want to go? Well, you'll find out today by playing What Type of Investor Are You? Today's game has 3 rounds, and if you successfully make it through all 3 rounds, you win. Round 1 is called Style Match, where you'll see what type of investor you think you are. Round 2 is called Graph Match, where you'll really decide the type of investor you want to be. And round 3 is where you're really put to the test. It's called Know the Past, Fix the Future. So let's get right to round 1. This round is called Style Match, where I'll describe the 4 investment styles and you try to match the investment style with its description. Once all styles are matched, you select the one that best describes you. Let's begin round 1. There are 4 types of investors: aggressive, conservative, prudent, and speculative. Each has their balance of risk versus reward. You'll place each investment style in a box. From left to right, risk goes from low to high. From bottom to top, reward goes from low to high. Listen carefully so you know where each investor belongs. The investor that belongs in box 1 doesn't want to take a lot of risk, but still wants above average returns. They will look for fairly safe stocks that have a lot of upside potential. Over time, they tend to have above average returns with minimal drawdown to their portfolio. Who do you think it is? Aggressive, conservative, prudent, or speculative? Write down your selection now. Okay, on to investor number 2. The investor that belongs in box number 2 also wants high returns over time and is willing to take on a little more risk to get it. The stocks they choose can have more volatility, but that is what this investor counts on. This investor tries to take advantage of quick pops in the stock's price. This investor looks for stocks with a lot of upside potential, more so than safety. Who do you think it is? Aggressive, conservative, prudent, or speculative? Write down your selection now. Next up, investor number 3. The investor that belongs in this box favors safety more so than upside potential. They'll look for companies that have been around a while and have consistent and predictable earnings. While these stocks may appreciate over time, that's not the major consideration for this investor. This investor likes dividends, which is why the company's financials are the biggest consideration. Who do you think it is? Aggressive, conservative, prudent, or speculative? Write down your selection now. Finally, we have investor number 4. The investor that belongs in box number 4 doesn't care about the company's financials. This investor is willing to take a lot of risk, and over time, while the investor may hit an occasional big winner, more times than not, he will lose and have little reward to show for it. The stocks he chooses are typically very volatile and have little upside. He chooses unproven companies that usually have a new product that may be released on the market, and he's hoping for a huge payoff. Who do you think it is? Aggressive, conservative, prudent, or speculative? Write down your selection now. All right, let's see if you're right. Investor number 1 who wants safe stocks with upside potential is prudent. Investor number 2 who wants stocks with upside potential but willing to take on more risk is aggressive. Investor number 3 who focuses on safety and dividends and isn't too focused on upside is conservative. And investor number 4 who pays no attention to fundamentals is speculative. So, how'd you do? Now write down the one that you think matches you the best. Time for round 2. This round is Graph Match. In order to play this round, you need to know the 2 indicators we here at VectorVest use to help investors find stocks matching their style based on reward versus risk. The indicator that we have that looks at reward is RV, or relative value. Relative value looks at the long-term capital appreciation potential compared to an alternative investment in AAA corporate bonds. In other words, it's looking at the upside potential of a stock compared to an investment in a bond. The indicator that we have that looks at risk is RS, or relative safety. Relative safety looks at the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance. It looks at debt to equity, sales volume, business longevity, and it also looks at price volatility. Both of these indicators are on a 0 to 2 scale, so above 1 is favorable. So here at VectorVest, stocks that have a high reward, in other words, they have high upside potential, typically have RV above 1. Stocks that have low upside potential typically have an RV less than 1. When looking at risk, stocks that have high risk will have RS below 1. And stocks that have low risk will have an RS greater than 1. Therefore, an aggressive investor would look for stocks with a high RV and a lower RS. We list that as RV greater than 1 and RS less than 1. But keep in mind, the aggressive investor is favoring RV over everything else. Remember, they're looking for big gainers and stocks with high upside potential. A prudent investor wants the best of both worlds, high reward and low risk. So the prudent investor wants both high RV and high RS. And we list that as RV greater than 1 and RS greater than 1. A conservative investor favors safety over everything else. He wants high RS stocks and is not concerned so much with RV. We list that as RV less than 1 and RS greater than 1. Remember, he likes his dividend payments, and companies with a high RS have consistent earnings growth and likely to grow the dividend over time. A speculative investor is looking for big gains without regard to risk. The fundamentals of value and safety mean nothing to them. So we list the RV and RS as both below 1 for a speculative investor. Now we're ready to play round 2, graph match. In this round, we have 3 questions. Question number 1. Here's a graph, and all I'm going to show you is the beginning price down here and the price 1 to 3 years later up here. Question number 1 is, what do you know about the stock's relative value? Is it A, likely to be above 1, B, likely to be below 1, or C, unknown with the information given? Correct answer is A. It is likely to be greater than 1. Remember, RV looks at upside potential compared to an alternative investment in a bond over a 1 to 3 year period. Since this stock rose from here to here over a 1 to 3 year period, it likely had an RV greater than 1. Question number 2. For question number 2, let's look at that same graph. Your question is, what do you know about the stock's relative safety? Is it A, likely to have been greater than 1, B, likely less than 1, or C, unknown with the information given? Correct answer is C, that it's unknown. Remember, RS looks at risk and volatility. To better understand this, here are 2 graphs. Let's call this first one a graph of stock A. And let's call the second one the graph of stock B. Both went from here to here over a 1 to 3 year period. However, stock B had wild swings. Its relative safety was most likely less than 1. Notice that stock A was not volatile and rose steadily, and it likely had an RS, or a relative safety, greater than 1. Now that we know this, we know it is likely that stock B had a relative value greater than 1 and a relative safety less than 1. We know that stock A likely had both relative value and relative safety greater than 1. Stock A is more what a prudent investor wants, high upside and low volatility. Stock B is more what an aggressive investor will buy. he will try to take advantage of these pops in price. However, the aggressive investor knows they're taking on more risk because the stock can have quick moves down as well. So that leaves us with two other graphs. Let's look at stock C. A conservative investor may find stocks that look something like this over time. They're not as concerned that it goes up in price. They're more concerned with capital preservation and dividend payments. They want the company to be around in the future, and they want to make sure to consistently get their dividend payments. Remember that a conservative investor will favor safety, and thus relative safety will be higher than relative value. And we list that as RV less than 1 and RS greater than 1. A speculative investor typically buys stocks that look like this. Over time, they end up moving down in price, and they can have wild swings. Once in a while, the speculative investor may get a big winner, but without a keen sense of when to buy and sell, most speculators lose money over the long term. Since speculative investors don't look at fundamentals, they typically buy stocks with RV and RS less than 1. So the last question of round 2 is question 3. Which graph matches the type of stocks you want to buy? Is it prudent, aggressive, conservative, or speculative? Did your desired investment style from round 1 match the graph of your desired investment style from round 2? If so, great! You're ready for round 3. If not, pick the one that more closely matches your style, and let's move on to round 3. Round 3 is called Know the Past, Fix the Future. This is the moment of truth. You've selected the type of investor you think you are. You've selected the type of investor you want to be. Now, you find out what type of investor you have been. As a VectorVest subscriber, this is extremely easy to do. If you're not a VectorVest subscriber, be sure to stick to the end. We here at VectorVest have a special gift for you to help you out. If you are a VectorVest subscriber, all you have to do is simply create a watch list of the stocks you currently own. Let's take a look. Once in VectorVest, just click on the Viewers tab, come over and select the My Watch List group, and click on the New Watch List button. Give it a name, and once you give it a name, just add your ticker symbols to the top of the list. Just type in the ticker symbols and separate each one by a comma. Once your stocks are in there, just look down here at the bottom. This is the watch list average row. This will tell you the average RV and RS of the stocks in your list. That will tell you the type of investor you are based on the stocks you own right now. To fully complete round 3, make a watch list of all of your winning trades over the last year. Make another watch list of all your losing trades. And once you do that, compare the RV and RS of both lists. You may find some eye-opening information. Hint, to fix the future, you may want to buy stocks with similar characteristics as your winning trades. So, did your investment style match in all 3 rounds? If yes, you win. If not, use VectorVest to help you find stocks that match your style. Let me show you how easy it is. One of the best places to start is right here in the Stock Viewer. The Stock Viewer is a great list of stocks from which to choose. All of the stocks are ranked, so the ones with the best combination of value, safety, and timing are right here at the top of the list. There's a lot of great stocks right here at your fingertips every single day. The second place to go would be right over here in our Unisearch tool. Notice on the left-hand side of the Unisearch, we've got searches pre-built for aggressive investors, conservative investors, prudent investors, and speculative investors. So if you're an aggressive investor, you'd start right here in the aggressive folder. All of these searches find stocks that match your style. For example, if I just click on the aggressive search and run it, notice how each of these stocks has an RV greater than 1 and an RS less than 1. And they're all sorted, so the best combination of value, safety, and timing are right at the top. If you're prudent, come right on over to the prudent folder, and we've got several searches just for you that match your style. Once again, if you just clicked on the prudent search, all of the stocks found will have an RV greater than 1, and an RS greater than 1. Take a look at how quickly these stocks are found. As you can see, no matter what style of investor you are, VectorVest saves you time and makes your investing life a whole lot easier. Brian, why don't you tell everyone what they get for playing today's game? Thanks, Brian. Just for playing today's game, everyone gets a free personal portfolio analysis report. There's only 2 things to do. Number 1, everyone go to vectorvest.com/style right now to get your report. Number 2, while you're there, if you liked playing today's game, please click the links on the left of that page to share it with your friends, or just send them the link so they can play today's game too. Thank you all for playing. What type of an investor are you? Have a great night, everyone.